So namaste, everyone. This is our yin flow. Carlos and Wendy are already aware that sometimes I do strictly yin and other times I do what's called a yin yang flow, or bringing in active and passive poses. And that's what I plan on doing today. I will give you an alternative. When we're doing the vinyasas, we're going to do that maybe 2 or 3 different rounds. You can take child's pose. So we are still in the new moon energy. If your energy has dropped, if it's feeling pretty sluggish or low, you may want that child's pose. So don't feel like you have to muster up the strength to do more of the active type poses. And then I'll give you modifications for a couple as well. So what I wanted to mention today. Yesterday, I focused on the fact that we had a new moon. It's always about new beginnings. And yesterday was actually another important day. It was 2/2/2022. So there's a lot of twos that are playing a lot of importance for this year. And the Pluto return will be happening in the natal chart on the 20th. And then Uranus takes a special spot in the skies the 22nd. So the twos will be coming up a lot this month. I mentioned during the new moon, it was actually also the Chinese New Year, and it was all about the water tiger and how water is very cleansing and purifying, but it also is a really strong force. So both astrology and this zodiac are saying that expect more water. Here it is raining the last 2 days, but there could be potential flooding. And I think I've already heard that's happening in Australia. Tsunamis, that type of thing happening throughout the year. The good news is this is supposed to also be a lucky year with the tiger. It's really capable of swimming well, which means that we can actually start to maneuver through our obstacles if we find our confidence, strength, and power to do so. And that's what yoga and meditation helps us to do, to tap into our true self and to become more empowered. That is not where we're going today. What I wanted to mention today was one of the niyamas, and this comes up in the basic yogic philosophy. So the one I wanted to mention today is santosha, which means contentment. And contentment is something that we kind of wrestle with. You know, so many times, so many days, we're discontented with maybe the world events, or we're discontented with decisions leaderships are making, or we're discontented with the way things are in our lives at any given point. So there was this, it wasn't a cartoon, it wasn't a meme, but it was a post that I made a couple days ago, and it showed someone in a handstand and a headstand and an extreme back bend and an extreme forward fold. And the caption above it says, "This is what people think is yoga." And then on the second layer, it was several people sitting in meditation, and the caption said, "This is the actual yoga." And that's what I want to remind us of today, especially since we're going to be in some yin poses that drops us in. So the idea of the big yoga, I like to call it, is the idea of sitting, being in stillness, being in silence, so that the state of contentment can bubble up to the surface. It really is innate within us. We just have to get ourselves there to experience it. And so that's my intention for today, is to get us into the experience of yoga so that we can be led to that place of contentment. And that place of contentment, it's about accepting who we are, what we have at any given moment, so that we can move forward, so that we're not staying stuck or digressing to the past. So let's go ahead and meet on the mat. We're going to start sitting and centering with the breath. So let's come to a comfortable seat. Feel free to use your bolster like a zafu cushion to prop up the hips. And we'll close the eyes. On your next breath, I want you to breathe in. But as you breathe out, follow the breath all the way down into your seat. Imagine roots growing down through your sits bones, through the flooring of your room, through the foundation of the building, through the rocky top, and down through the rich soil, beyond the rich soil to the underground streams, towards the center of the earth, and imagining that the roots are wrapping and intertwining around a large boulder or crystal. Focus on your next out breath. Ground down, down, down. Then imagine when you're breathing in that you're actually breathing in the energy from the planet, from the earth itself. And it's coming up through those roots, up through your spine, to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, feel as though you're drawing in energy from the ether, from the air, down through your body, down through your roots, giving it back to the earth. So that you have this exchange between the heavens and the earth. Distribute the breath evenly, so that your inhale is just as pronounced as your exhale. Knowing there's something great to receive from both. Take 3 more breaths. And slowly begin to open the eyes. Now that we've been centering and preparing, we're going to move the props out of the way, except for the strap, and we're going to go ahead and come to stand. Now, in this first one, I want you to line up your feet so that they're stacked under your hips. You're holding the strap shoulder distance apart. And then as you inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And take a moment to root through your feet and to rise up through your hands. As you exhale, curve to the right, creating the shape of a crescent moon with your form. Let it break up any tension in your side ribs and intercostals, so that you can breathe more fully into your left lung. Inhale, let's build back up to the top. Exhale, gently sway to the left. Ignite your breath. Breathing more so into the right lung. Now on your next inhale, lift the arms back up overhead. Bring the strap behind you as you breathe out. We're going to tip the thighs forward, drop the tailbone down, jut up through the ribs, open up through the chest, start to lift and straighten out through your arms, leaning the head back, creating a dynamic standing backward bend. Now breathing into the front side of the body. Inhale, let's return to the top, and exhale, relax the arms down. So now we're going to widen the grip or the hold of the strap. And what we're going to do here is we're going to inhale, lift the arms up. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the arms directly behind the upper back. This way, you're breathing into the front side of your shoulders, breathing into your heart center. Remembering anytime we open the shoulders and open the chest and perform back bends, it helps to promote better posture. So often we just slump. Now on your next inhale, lift the arms back up. Exhale, return them down in front of your thighs. Inhale, lift your right arm up, cross it over your head and sink down towards the buttocks. Inhale, the right arm will lift back up and it will cross back over to the front side of the body. Now to the left. Inhale, left arm circles over the head, down towards the sacrum. Left arm again, lifting it up and bring it back down in front. Now we are going to use this again, but you can lower it down to the side. We're done with it for now. Bring your feet to the top of the mat and your hands to namaste at your heart. From here, inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Exhale, swan dive forward and down to your Uttanasana. And we're going to do that twice more to warm up the lower body. Inhaling up. Feel free to move to upward worship with an attitude of gratitude for all that you have and are. Exhale, pour down, Uttanasana. Once more, inhaling, upward worship. Exhaling, the standing forward fold. Now we're going to switch it to yin. So you're going to soften your knees, tip your weight forward, crisscross your arms, and dangle. Feel free to close your eyes, soften the muscles of the face. And if your jaw feels tight, take a deep breath in, breathe it out through the mouth. And maybe keep a little separation between your lips. In this particular posture, I would encourage a longer Out breath. So this is where when we hold these poses longer, we may feel some intensity. We may experience some discontentment somewhere, some way. But is it possible to stay in that calm, watchful state? And regardless of the occurrence, can we move to the state of contentment? I read something earlier today that said when you're practicing contentment, drop assumptions, continuously let go, and focus on what is good. Let's release the arms. Let's bend the knees, scoop the belly in, roll it up one vertebra at a time. Standing tall, separate your feet. And I think we either did this last week or the week before, but we're gonna work with the QL. So we're gonna start with the left side. So bring the left shoulder over, kind of in front of you. Let your arm hang like a rag doll. Let your head bow forward. And remember, we're going to do a yin approach, so it's very slow. Move down a few inches, and then hold and breathe. With yin, we want to mimic a snail or sloth-like pace. So when you're ready, move down a few more inches. Crossing over towards the right leg, hanging free. When you're ready, start to spill down a bit more. And looking for any of those nook or crannies that are crying out for some more attention, that may perhaps feel a little tender. And then after a few breaths there, travel down more. Taking these still points, these pauses along the way, because you may find that you need to hold it somewhere. Doing the investigative work to discover where is life showing up. Continue on your merry way. Just remember to go slow and steady. Now put a little bend in your knees, scoop into the belly, and allow the left shoulder, the back of the left shoulder, to slowly roll you up and to pull the spine back to its central location. All right, the right shoulder will roll forward and across the chest. We'll bow the head, and then we're slowly coasting down. Just a few inches, and hold and breathe. A few inches more. And hold and breathe. Releasing down. Going at your own pace and stopping anywhere that needs more attention, or continuing lower into that type of forward fold. Bend in the knees. Slowly allow the back of the right shoulder to draw you up, up, up. And you may have to pause a minute, because sometimes we can get a little lightheaded with that extra blood flow. And then once you're good, feet closer together, hands to prayer. Inhale, let your arms circle widen up. Exhale, fold to your Uttanasana. On your next in-breath, we're going to step the feet to plank. Now, holding your plank, but if you need to modify, we're about to go to side plank. So if you need to drop your left knee and plant the right foot, that's okay. Otherwise, flip to the outer edge of your left foot and shine the right arm skyward. If you're in the modified form, stay on your left knee. If you're lifted like I am, come to full plank, sink the left knee, and then we're going to join the others, turning the left shin back, rolling the right foot down, flying the right hand up again. And then from here, we're all going to take the right arm straight across the ear, press more firmly through your right foot. And then as you exhale, pick up your rib cage and allow the top arm and the head to drizzle downward. It's almost like you're creating a cat stretch back in your side. Now, you don't have to do any more than this. This may be plenty. But if you want to keep shifting your left foot towards your left hand, if you want to turn your right toes to the back of your mat, if you want to spin open, belly side up, head back, this is a modified wild thing pose. And we're slowly going to return to hands and knees. All right, we're going to step to plank. All right, you have the option to lower the right knee, swizzle that left foot down, or you can keep the knees off the floor and flip to the outer edge of the right foot. So I know we're still in that new moon energy, which could make us a little lower in energy. Don't feel like you have to do more than you're willing to do. All right, take it to full plank if you were in the full side. Let's lower the right knee and let's all do the modified form. Take that top arm over the ear, push down through your left foot. Now arch through your side ribs, create kind of that C curve, and breathe. If you want to go to wild thing, the right shin will pivot back, the left toes will turn. We'll go belly up, head back. And then we're slowly gonna come out. Take your time with that. And then curl the back toes, take downward facing dog. Now this is where we're going to start doing a few vinyasas. So if you need to sink your knees and take pause in child's and be more passive, then do that. Otherwise, if you want to be active, inhale, come to plank. Exhale, down to chaturanga. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing dog. If you're feeling the vinyasa still, you can do 2 more. Otherwise, stay in child's. So today, being the 3rd of February, pass through 1 more vinyasa if you desire. Both Mercury and Venus are now direct, whereas they were in a retrograde. And all planets will now be in direct motion through the end of April, which gives us that forward momentum. What the water tiger is about. All right, from holding your downward facing dog, we're gonna inhale, lift the right leg up. So if you were in child's, join us here. You're gonna slip the right foot through to the underside of the belly, up towards the left hand, and you can choose to be here, or you can take rock star pose. Then we bring the left hand down, spin to the ball of the back foot, slide your right knee to the center of your thumbs. And then we're gonna slide the left knee to tuck under the right. And then we're gonna sit back in between our ankles. So if you need to come to shoelace another way, that's all right. Right leg's on top, even if you need the left leg to be straight. If you have history of herniated disc, you're gonna keep the back long and you're gonna tip forward and keep a flat back. If you have a healthy back, we're gonna go ahead and release and round. Plummeting down towards the floor. Bowing the head beyond the knees. And this is a pose we're going to hold. Opening the second chakra, which is about the element of water. And whether or not we're able to stay adaptable through change. Whether or not we find acceptance and contentment to what is. It doesn't mean we have to be content with what's really happening around us. It's basically going within and discovering that you can be content no matter what is happening around you. So cultivate that inner state of calm and peace. Well, this is where we're going to use the strap again. So on your next in-breath, let's slowly start to come up. You're going to take your strap and hang it over the left shoulder. Then let your left arm fly up, palm facing away, flexing the elbow to grip the strap. And notice this top arm may want to flop away. So use your free hand to tuck it in, and then send the free hand behind the back to find your strap. This may be plenty, or you may want to walk it up. Try to sit directly on your sits bones. Try not to push your ribs forward, rather iron them down and in. Close your eyes and imagine a pink pulsing light radiating from your heart. Imagine that light begins to illuminate the face and your eyes. Affirming, free in my heart, I choose to live without fear. I am content. As you exhale, we can send that strap to the side. And then to go back into the flow, we rock forward, place the hands down, knees down, step the left foot back, and the right foot to join to plank. Now this is where you can get active again. Shifting forward, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale to a heart opening pose, and exhale, rolling back to downward facing dog. If you're not feeling that today, take child's pose while we pass through the vinyasa twice more. And this way you're personalizing your practice according to what you're feeling, but also what will help to provide more contentment to your mind and heart. After this position, when you are in child, rock up to hands and knees, create downward facing dog. We'll take that sequence to the other side. So lift your left leg, slide it through and under the body. You can stay here, or you can roll open to rock star pose. Hand down, knee down between the thumbs. Step it forward, tucking the right knee under. Sitting back in between the ankles. And if that doesn't work, just create the shape. Inhale, lift up energetically. Exhale, flat back if you need to protect your disc. If you haven't had disc trouble, I suggest rounding down. This is about letting go. So I'm going to share something. There's a group of women that I did my Reiki master training with, and we're all on a group thread, a text thread. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming because there's like 12 or 13 of us, but it is really lovely to see that almost weekly someone falls apart. Someone's really discontented about this, that, or the other. And it's really amazing to watch and witness so many people sharing their words of wisdom and their experience as a pick-me-up for a person who's, you know, struggling. And there was one that happened this week. She's a young mom with 2 small children, and they all have COVID right now. And she's obviously anxious, unsettled. She's been in pain. She's been feeling, you know, guilty. And she had asked us yesterday, she goes, has anybody Reiki'd anyone, you know, with COVID, or have you tried to Reiki the actual virus? And so different people were piping up about their experience with it. But this morning, she reached out to everyone and said last night she was struggling, and she decided to use her breath to cultivate a state of calm and peace. And she realized when she started getting really inundated with her breath that her symptoms that were causing her problems were going away. And she was able to have her first good night's sleep and slept for 12 full hours. So it just shows the power of the mind over the body. And it's a nice reminder for Santosha contentment, even when you're sick, even when you're feeling all the symptoms or the emotions that come with it. And you come back to a state of contentment. Remembering we're not always in control. The yin is about surrendering, accepting, inhale, let's slowly start to back away from that position. We're going to move into Gomukhasana. We're going to take that strap over the right shoulder. Lifting the arm, spinning the hand, flexing the elbow, finding the strap. And if that arm's flopping away, tuck it in. Take your free hand behind your back, find the strap or walk it up. Sit on top of your sits bones, making sure you're not creating a back bend. Close the eyes. Imagining that pink pulse of light at your heart, illuminating your face and eyes. I am content. And gently release your hands and the bind and the strap away. We're going to move forward to the palms, to the knees, to step the right foot back, then to step the left foot back. And then from here, tip forward, lower down to chaturanga. If you don't want the vinyasa, take child's. If you do want the vinyasa, I'm adding this in today since all planets are direct. And the energy is going to start to inspire us to move out of our stuckness. And that's what last year's Ox was about. And then if you did the vinyasa in your downward facing dog, we're all going to sink the knees. If you're in child's pose already, make sure the big toes touch, and we're going to slide the knees wide. And we're going to move into shoelace arms. Have your left hand actually in front of your right, palms open. Slide it through. Your head might hover. It may spill down to the brow. Okay, either way. The arms are located between the chin and the chest. If this is too much for you, just thread your left arm and lower down to your left cheek. Inhale, rise up, swap the hands, thread them through. And again, if this is too much, just thread your right arm and lower to your right cheek. in breath, you can slowly begin your climb out. And we are going to do a chakra meditation in Shavasana. So if you want to add on a layer or grab a blanket to cover up with, you know, if you didn't do the vinyasas, we only really did that one back bend. So maybe you want a heart opener. I did the vinyasas, so I'm feeling this one, bolster under the knees. You can cover your whole body, or you can make the blanket more weighted over the belly. And just get comfortable. Once you get your body positioned just right, take a breath in. Breathe all the way down into your body, down into the feet. And then imagine from your pelvic floor that there's a waterfall colored in red, cascading and rushing through the legs and the feet, breaking up and washing away any stuck energy preventing us from moving forward. And then imagine as you come into your hips, there's a whirlpool of water colored orange that's swishing back and forth across the lower abdomen and back. Breaking up and washing away anything that prohibits us from feeling acceptance and contentment to what is. Bring the awareness to the upper part of your abdomen. Imagining this water churning, almost like a washing machine, in a clockwise manner, breaking up and washing and rinsing away anything that disempowers us, so that we're connected to our inner strength, our inner power to pursue our passion. Allow the water that's colored green to run its currents over the chest, through the arms, and hands. Clearing out the debris here so that we can feel more compassionate and content, the soul of our being. And bring your attention now to your throat. Imagining that it's half still and half wavelets. What you would sense if you were at the Caribbean Blue Sea. Allowing this to brighten this energy field so that you can live and speak your truth. Equally allowing others to live and speak their truth. And allow yourself to come up to the blue, still waters of your mind, of your face, and your brow. The blue, still waters that allow us to lean into and trust our intuitive guidance, washing away anything that makes us doubt. And envisioning that still blue waters turning into purple at the crown. As if you were looking at a mountain range being reflected on top of the water. Representing a state of oneness and wisdom. Now steep in stillness and in silence, continue your meditation. Begin to deepen the flow of your breath. Roll your head shoulder to shoulder. If you have the bolster under your knees, you can stand the feet on top. If you're in a back bend, just bend your knees and flatten the feet to the floor. We'll roll to one side. Acclimate here first. And build back up for a seat. So the idea of, working into these poses is to lessen the stress and tension, to open up space, to open up a free flow of energy. And the whole point of the mindfulness and the meditation and the affirmations and breath work is to create the space in the mind. So sit upright for a moment with your eyes turned down. We can open up that space. That innate contentment will naturally come forth. So I hope that has been the case for you today. Remember, you can always sit in meditation longer if needed, but we'll seal our practice by bringing the hands together to prayer. We all walk away from this practice feeling more free and at peace in our bodies, hearts, and mind. Namaste.